What if a prophet who lived 2,600 years ago described your life today with such precision that it feels like he's watching the news over your shoulder? What if Daniel, a teenager taken captive to Babylon, saw visions of empires rising and falling, and his final prophecy is unfolding right now in 2026 in ways that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about the world? Today, we're going to decode the most overlooked prophecy Daniel ever received. Not the lion's den, not the fiery furnace, but a vision so specific, so eerily accurate, that once you see it, you'll never look at current events the same way again. And here's the thing that nobody's talking about. This prophecy wasn't just about nations and kings. It was about knowledge, travel, technology, and a generation that would witness it all accelerate beyond comprehension. Sound familiar? Welcome to Mysteries Behind the Scroll, where ancient warnings become modern headlines. Let's start with Daniel himself. Picture this. You're a teenager, you're smart, you're faithful, you have your whole life ahead of you, and then one day, enemy soldiers storm your city, your home is destroyed, your family is torn apart, and you're dragged hundreds of miles away to serve in the palace of the very king who destroyed everything you loved. That's Daniel's story, taken captive to Babylon around 605 BC, forced to serve King Nebuchadnezzar, and thrust into a world that wanted to erase his identity, his faith, and his God. But here's what makes Daniel different. He didn't just survive. He thrived, and more importantly, he received visions, not vague, poetic visions, but detailed, specific, time-stamped prophecies about the future of humanity. And the most critical one? It's found in Daniel chapter 12. Let me read it to you. But you, Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. Now, for centuries, people read that verse and thought it was symbolic, metaphorical, something spiritual about people searching for truth. But what if Daniel meant it literally? What if he was describing exactly what we're experiencing right now? Let's break it down. Many shall run to and fro. In Daniel's time, most people never traveled more than a few miles from where they were born. Trade routes existed, sure, but they were dangerous, slow, and reserved for merchants and soldiers. The idea of billions of people traveling constantly across continents in hours would have been incomprehensible. But that's exactly what we do now. Air travel, high-speed trains, global tourism, business trips, people running to and fro constantly, relentlessly. In 2019 alone, before the pandemic, over 4.5 billion passengers flew on commercial airlines. That's more than half the world's population in motion. Daniel saw this, and he wrote it down. But the second part is even more chilling. Knowledge shall increase. Not just grow, increase, exponentially, uncontrollably, and that's exactly what's happening. For most of human history, knowledge doubled very slowly. It took 1,500 years for human knowledge to double from the time of Christ to the Renaissance. Then it doubled again in 250 years, then 150 years, then 50, and now? IBM estimates that human knowledge is doubling every 12 hours. Every 12 hours. By the time you finish watching this video, the sum total of human knowledge will have doubled multiple times. We're drowning in information, and Daniel predicted it. Albert Einstein once said, "The measure of intelligence is the ability to change." But what happens when change happens faster than we can adapt? What happens when knowledge increases so rapidly that we can't process it, can't verify it, can't distinguish truth from lies. That's the world Daniel foresaw, and that's the world we're living in right now. Now here's where it gets even more specific. Daniel 12 isn't just about travel and knowledge. It's about timing. Verse 4 says, "Seal the book until the time of the end." This prophecy was locked, hidden, not meant to be fully understood until the generation that would witness it. And that generation, it's us. Billy Graham preached, Daniel's prophecies are being unsealed in our lifetime. We are the generation that will see the fulfillment of these ancient words. He said that decades ago, and every year since, the evidence has only grown stronger. Let's talk about what else Daniel saw. In chapter 7, he describes 4 beasts representing 4 kingdoms: Babylon, Persia, Greece, Rome. Historians agree on this, but then he describes a final kingdom, different from all the others, a kingdom of iron mixed with clay, strong but fragile, united but divided, trying to hold together but constantly fracturing. Does that sound like any global system you know? The United Nations, the European Union. Global alliances that promise unity but collapse under internal conflict. We talked about this in our video, the 2026 End Times Prophecy No One is Watching. The global convergence Daniel warned about is happening right now. Nations trying to form a one-world system, but it's unstable, just like iron mixed with clay. Go watch that video after this. It connects the dots in ways that will blow your mind. But let's go deeper. Daniel chapter 8 describes a vision of a ram and a goat. Symbolic, right? Except Daniel himself explains it. The ram represents the kings of Media and Persia. The goat represents Greece, and the large horn on the goat, Alexander the Great. Daniel predicted Alexander's rise and fall 200 years before he was born, and he didn't stop there. He predicted that Alexander's kingdom would be divided into 4 parts after his death, and that's exactly what happened. His empire split between his 4 generals, Cassander, Lysimachus, Ptolemy, Seleucus. History confirms every detail. Now, if Daniel was that accurate about Alexander, about the Medo-Persian Empire, about Greece and Rome, why would we doubt his accuracy about the end times? Dr. John Walvoord, one of the most respected theologians of the 20th century, wrote, Daniel's prophecies are not poetic imagery. They are literal, historical, and verifiable predictions that have been fulfilled with stunning precision. And the prophecies yet to be fulfilled will be just as literal. That should make us pay attention. So, what else did Daniel predict that's happening right now? Let's go to chapter 11. This chapter is wild. It's so detailed, so specific about wars, alliances, and betrayals between ancient kingdoms that skeptics once claimed it had to have been written after the events occurred. But archaeology proved them wrong. The Dead Sea Scrolls contain copies of Daniel dated to at least 100 BC, proving the prophecies were written centuries before their fulfillment. But here's what most people miss. The chapter doesn't end in ancient history. It transitions to the end times. Verse 40 says, At the time of the end, the king of the south shall attack him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind. The king of the south. The king of the north. These aren't random metaphors. They're geographic locations, and scholars believe they represent coalitions of nations surrounding Israel. Sound familiar? We covered this in the Antichrist and AI, the connection you missed, the geopolitical tensions building around Israel right now, the alliances forming in the north, Russia, Iran, Turkey, the instability in the south, Egypt, Libya, Sudan. It's all lining up exactly as Daniel described. If you haven't watched that video yet, you need to. It reveals how modern technology is enabling the very systems Daniel warned about. But here's the part that should make you stop scrolling. Daniel chapter 9 gives us a timeline, the famous prophecy of the 70 weeks. Verse 24 says, 70 weeks are determined for your people and for your holy city, to finish the transgression, to make an end of sins, to make reconciliation for iniquity, to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal up vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. 70 weeks. But these aren't literal weeks. They're weeks of years, 70 periods of 7 years, 490 years total. And Daniel breaks it down. 7 weeks plus 62 weeks, that's 69 weeks, will pass from the decree to rebuild Jerusalem until the Messiah comes. Then the Messiah will be cut off, killed, and the city and sanctuary will be destroyed. Let's do the math. The decree to rebuild Jerusalem was issued by Artaxerxes in 445 BC. 69 weeks of years equals 483 years. Adjusting for the difference between the Hebrew calendar and our calendar, that brings us to 33 AD, the exact year Jesus was crucified, to the day. Sir Robert Anderson, a Scotland Yard detective and biblical scholar, calculated this in his book, The Coming Prince. He wrote, Daniel's prophecy predicted the exact day of Christ's triumphal entry into Jerusalem. This is not coincidence. This is divine precision. But here's what keeps people up at night. Daniel describes 70 weeks. 69 have been fulfilled. That leaves 1 week, 7 years. And most scholars believe this final week, this final 7-year period, is still to come. A period of tribulation, a time when the prophecies of Revelation unfold. And if the first 69 weeks were fulfilled with such precision, why wouldn't the 70th? If you're still with me, I need you to do something. Hit that subscribe button right now. Because what we're uncovering here isn't just history, it's a roadmap. And if you want to understand where we're heading, you need to stay connected to this channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. We're decoding prophecies that most people ignore, and you don't want to be left in the dark. Now, let's bring this into the present. Daniel chapter 12 verse 1 says, At that time Michael shall stand up, the great prince who stands, watch over the sons of your people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that time. A time of trouble like never before. Jesus himself quoted this prophecy in Matthew 24. He called it the Great Tribulation. And he said, unless those days were shortened, no flesh would survive. That's not ancient history. That's a warning about the future. And here's the kicker. Daniel was told to seal the book until the time of the end. But we're unsealing it now. We're living in the generation that has the knowledge, the technology, the global connectivity to finally understand what Daniel saw. And the signs are everywhere. We've covered them extensively on this channel. The rise of AI and its role in the Mark of the Beast system. Watch the AI prophecy hidden in Revelation most people missed for that. The normalization of digital currencies and biometric identification. Check out 7 biblical signs of the end times happening now. The geopolitical alignments forming exactly as Ezekiel and Daniel predicted. That's in our video on the 2026 prophecies. But here's what Daniel's prophecy reveals that ties it all together. It's about a generation, a specific generation that would witness all of these signs simultaneously. Travel exploding, knowledge doubling at incomprehensible rates, technology enabling global control, Israel back in its land after 2,000 years of exile, alliances forming around Israel exactly as the prophets described, a push toward a one-world government and economic system. and a spiritual deception so powerful that even believers could be misled. That's our generation, not our parents, not our grandparents, ours. Jesus said in Matthew 24, "Now learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer is near. Even so, when you see all these things, you know that it is near, right at the door." Truly, I tell you, this generation will certainly not pass away until all these things have happened. All these things, not some, all. And we're seeing them right now. Daniel saw it, he wrote it down, he sealed it. And now, 2,600 years later, we're unsealing it. And what we're finding is that the ancient prophecy isn't ancient at all. It's current, it's urgent, and it's happening right now. So, what do we do with this? First, we pay attention. We stop dismissing prophecy as irrelevant or symbolic. We recognize that the patterns Daniel predicted are unfolding with precision. Second, we prepare. Not with fear, but with awareness. Understanding the times we're living in. Making choices that align with truth rather than convenience. And third, we share. Because most people have no idea this is happening. They see the news, they feel the chaos, but they don't see the pattern, and the pattern is everything. The ancient prophecy Daniel gave isn't just history, it's a warning, a roadmap, and a call to wake up. If this video opened your eyes to something you've never seen before, then you need to subscribe to Mysteries Behind the Scroll right now. We're not just talking about prophecy, we're decoding it. We're connecting the ancient texts to modern reality in ways that make sense, that provoke thought, that demand engagement. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join a community of people who refuse to be caught off guard. And before you go, I need you to watch 3 more videos. First, Ancient Prophecies and AI. Decoding the Sealed Book for Gen Z. It breaks down how AI is literally unsealing the very prophecies Daniel was told to seal. Second, Biblical Prophecy and Quantum Physics. Unveiling hidden end-time connections. It explores how modern science is revealing frameworks that make Daniel's visions scientifically plausible. And third, Beyond Armageddon. The Unseen Aftermath, Revelation foretells. Because Daniel's prophecies don't end in destruction, they end in restoration, and you need to see the full picture. Daniel was a teenager when he was taken captive, a teenager who refused to compromise, who stood firm when everyone around him bowed, who trusted God even when it meant facing lions, flames, and exile. And God gave him visions that would guide humanity for thousands of years. We are the generation Daniel saw. We are the ones running to and fro. We are the ones drowning in knowledge. And we are the ones who will witness the fulfillment of everything he predicted. The question is, will you see it? Or will you be like everyone else, distracted, deceived, and caught off guard? The prophecy is unfolding. The signs are here. And Daniel's warning has never been more relevant. Until next time, keep seeking the truth. Because in a world of deception, truth is the only thing that will set you free.